How's it going? Thanks for joining me. And talk about BugOut bag weapon kit today. So, if you're in the mood for a nice long video, you came to the right place. For the pipe people out there, this is a Kiko meerschaum lined briar pipe with leather outside. I got it on eBay for like $24. Nothing smokes better than a meerschaum pipe. But meerschaum pipes, they get hot in your hand. So guess what? Leather, briar. I want to talk a little bit about BugOut bags today. I just want to say in the beginning that I'm not a fan of bugging out. I don't want to bug out. I'm stealing it kind of from Nut and Fancy, that philosophy, but I got all my books here. I got all my food and seeds and water storage and sanitation and weapons and ammunition, tobacco, you know what I'm saying? Like everything that you have, your creature comforts, your bed. We had the power go out for a couple weeks one time when I lived in Oklahoma, and we had to sleep in our own, we had to sleep in our bed that was solid as a rock because it was memory foam, because there was no heat. So we had generator running, and it was a big, disgusting nightmare. But anyway, it was still better to have our own bed, even though it was solid as a rock, than sleeping in a truck or a tent somewhere out in the middle of nowhere. So I say all that because number one rule of bugging out is don't bug out. If you can help it. I mean, you don't want to get stuck behind enemy lines in an invasion situation where someone is trying to invade the country and you're stuck in the occupation zone or something. That's not going to be good because they're just going to throw a grenade through your window and then you're screwed, right? Fighting against a mechanized military where they have shoulder-fired RPGs and stuff, you're not going to do much from your house. You need to get out of there. So there are times when you need to bug out, but don't be eager and excited to bug out. That's just me. I'm not that way. I don't want to bug out. I want to stay at home. All right, we got that out of the way. Second thing is arm everybody in your party. There's going to be more in your party than what you probably want because you're going to have an elderly neighbor or a parent or a grandparent or a toddler or a niece or nephew. You don't know what's going to happen, so you have to plan for there to be more than just you, your wife, and maybe your couple kids or whatever. You're going to have more people. That's just the way it goes. So if you think that you're just going to throw your 9mm in your bag and you're going to protect your whole family, in my opinion, that's not super smart because there's power in numbers to a large degree. So even if you and your wife are both armed and maybe your teenage kids or your elderly father or mother or whatever, if you got 4 or 5 guns versus 1, hey man, you're already a tiny little fire team, okay? So all that being said, I'll show you the way I do mine. So this is my BugOut bag. It's easily and quickly accessible. My wife has one too, and a kid. And I have a young adult daughter that if she comes and stays with me, we're usually good to go on that area too. But just my opinion, but you should always have a modular weapon kit. Okay, so we do have a long gun in the system. It's not in my BugOut bag. I'm not going to get into all the reasons why I do it that way, but this is what's in my BugOut bag, and to be honest with you, it would probably switch it with the long gun immediately. But if things go really crazy and it just ends up being you with your BugOut bag to sustain the rest of the family, you need to be able to do that. It's going to suck, but you need to have everything that you bare bones need to protect your family and sustain your family in your bug out bag. Everybody else is just extras. I mean, the dog, if you have like a lab or a German shepherd or something, you can put dog food, you can put medicine, whatever inside of a doggy bug out bag. But anyway, if my wife and I both end up with both of our bug out bags for whatever reason, we're going to switch places weapons wise quickly. And that, in my opinion, that's why you should have the same caliber weapon in all your bug out bags so that you can share ammunition. Anyway, I got this bag from Glock when I bought a Gen 5 Glock 19 on the blue label back when I was active duty military, and they were giving out free Glock bags. It's great. This is not a Glock. I'll show you what it is. I keep it in this little bag so that I can take it out of the bug out bag really quick if I'm going somewhere where I'm not allowed to have firearms. I realize it's a God-given right to have a weapon of some sort. But you know, if you are going on a military base, or if you're going somewhere where you're going to go to prison for 10, 20 years, weigh those consequences, okay? I mean, you don't want to just recklessly throw away your life. Your family depends on you. So, depending on what the situation is, there are times when I'm not armed. I don't have a firearm. So if I need to take this out of my bug out bag, at least I still have my bug out bag, and it's got a lot of systems in it where we can survive and get by. Because the truth is, a situation where you have to bug out, you're probably not in your house. You're probably away from your home, in your vehicle or something. And if you have to bug out of your vehicle, you might have to bug out of your vehicle to get home. So some people call that a get home bag, whatever. I don't get into the get home versus bug out versus all that. I just have one bag that's with me all the time. If I need to get out of my house, I can get out of my house. If I need to get out of my truck, back to my house, I can get to my truck. If I need to get it to a different location, that's the plan. But anyway, sometimes I have to take this out of the bug out bag. So what's in here? Got some ammunition. I picked 22 because 22 ammunition is super lightweight. You can carry many hundred rounds. You can carry a brick. I have a brick of 350 rounds in here, plus some of these little sleeves right here of these CCIs. But if you need to carry 300 rounds of 5.56 or shotgun ammo, it's a lot of weight. I think one magazine loaded of 5.56 is like 1 pound by itself. So if you got 7 magazines, which is a standard combat load, 210 rounds, now we're talking about 7 pounds. So your 40-pound pack just became a 50-pound pack. So anyway, if you've ever done any long-term hiking or camping where you have to walk long distances, let me tell you a quick story. My first backpacking trip, I was in California, hiking up to Mount Whitney, or up the Mount Whitney area. There's a place called Palisade Glacier, and it was a several mile hike. Great, it's a great place. There's lakes up there and stuff. But I took like a 45. It was a SIG P245, a bunch of extra ammunition. I think I had like 50 rounds of 45 ammunition. And I had like a survival manual, like a book. I had a bunch of crap that just didn't belong in my bag. And it wasn't probably an hour and a half into that hike where I started throwing stuff in bushes. I was like, man, I can't function with all this weight. I'll pick it up on the way back, or maybe somebody else will find it. I don't know. And this was 20-something years ago, but it taught me a lesson that backpackers already know, which is ounces become pounds. You know what I'm saying? So be careful with your weight. So anyway, in here I have one of my favorite bug out pistols. It's called a P17. It's made by Kel-Tec. If you're a hater on Kel-Tec, I don't know what to tell you, because I've never had any problems with Kel-Tec products. I remember when this pistol came out, it was groundbreaking because it had a 16 round magazine. It holds 17, that's why it's called the P17, but there was reliability issues. I think there was a recall. I don't know. Kel-Tec got it right. By the time I got this pistol, which was $200 $49, by the way. I've shot this thing a gazillion times and I've never had any failures to feed, any failures to eject. I've never had any stovepipes or anything. I've never had any problems out of this. It's always been super accurate. The recoil is nothing. It comes with 3 16-round magazines factory, okay? If you wonder why these are unloaded, don't worry about that, okay? Because we are squared away in that area. Just know that these mags are unloaded. So, but anyway, threaded barrel from the factory. It's got ambi safety. Maybe you're not a manual safety person. Okay. Maybe you're not into ambidextrous stuff. That's fine. If you've ever had one of your arms, shoulders, or hands injured, you'll quickly learn that you need to be proficient with both your left and right arms. But anyway, this guy is lightweight. I think it's like 1.5 pounds, if that. It doesn't have any recoil. It feels great. It has an excellent trigger. You just barely touch that trigger and it goes off. But it's also got kind of a long pull on the trigger. So it's like you're not going to accidentally, and then your reset is just real, it's just, you just barely, look how short that reset is. So with it having a threaded barrel from the factory, I can tell you, you might want to incorporate some sort of a silencing system into your BugOut kit. I'm not going to tell you what I have for that, but I can tell you the threaded barrel comes in handy when you're trying to be quiet, and you might need to be quiet and stealthy whenever you bug out. So anyway, holds 17 rounds. It feels great in your hand too, in my opinion. This little thing right here, it doesn't have a lanyard attachment back here, but it's kind of like a machete or an axe where it has that little flip up at the bottom to keep it from flying out of your hands. But I can get my whole hand on here, and it just feels great. It has a fiber optic sight on the front. Yeah. It looks like you could put an optic on top. That's not true. You can buy a slide that'll let you put the optic on top, but I don't know. I mean, you could do that. That's fine. But it has adjustable sights, both for windage and height in the back. Can you believe that? Let's see if it'll focus. Anyway, this is just my pick. I keep it in a shoulder holster for the BugOut system. Like I said before, if we actually have to bug out and my wife has her kit, I'm going to take the long gun. Not this. This will be hers. But if we just have one, I'm going to want the pistol, because the pistol can do some things the long gun can't do, like conceal. Long gun can do a lot more that the pistol can't do. But, you know, I've thought about this extensively. But if you don't think that a long gun is more capable, I challenge you to take your favorite handgun, whatever you think it is, 10 millimeter or 45 or 40, 9 mil. Take whatever handgun that is and go to the range and shoot at a 25-yard target. Free-handed. Shoot a box. Shoot 50 rounds or whatever. And then I want you to take a .22 rifle to the range, same day, and shoot free-handed at 25 yards at the target. And it will blow you away how much more accurate, how easy it is to be super accurate with the long gun. So I've spent a lot of time in deployed locations, and I remember one time I was this youngster, and I was talking to this captain, and he had a Beretta in his shoulder holster, and I thought, man, that is so cool. And I was like, dude, I wish I had a Beretta. I just got this M4. Actually, at that time, I just had a full-size AR, A2 or A3, I forget. I think this was before the 3-round burst, so whatever version that is, but it was the long barrel before the M4 with iron sights. And it was before the Air Force started using the aim tech, but the aim point, excuse me. But anyway, I said, man, I wish I could had the pistol instead of this clunky rifle. And he was like, I'll trade you. And I'll never forget it, because it occurred to me that there's no way I would trade him. I just thought it looked cool and it was a great gun. But you can really reach out and and touched some stuff with the long gun. What's the guy's name? Rob O'Neill, the guy that shot Bin Laden, one of the like 5 guys that killed him. I was listening to his podcast one time, and he was talking about his backup weapon and how he quit carrying a pistol on missions like way early into his career because he just wanted his rifle. And he said something about his backup kit just had more 5.56 rounds in it. So yeah, I think it was like a 20 or a 10 round magazine just for his long gun. So anyway, I think you should at least explore the possibility of having a long gun in your kit. Another option I think is a really cool option would be to have an AR platform, maybe just a couple mags of 5.56, and then have like a 22 conversion kit, because you can still use the same sights. I don't know if you've ever shot a conversion kit AR, but you don't have to change your sights within like 100 yards. Or 50 yards or so. Your sights work the same. So that way you could have 22 capabilities and also have the AR capabilities. But I mean, you decide for yourself. I've never had a problem killing anything with a 22 long rifle. It'll reach out and touch some stuff. Okay, you can kill a deer with it. It'll definitely take a person out. This thing holds 17 rounds, so if you do get one of these P17s, which I think is a great option for a bug out bag, take it to the range and shoot it, because you're going to be surprised at how well you can shoot this thing. It doesn't kick at all. So if you're taking your wife to the range or something and you can buy your wife one of these, and for $250, take her out and shoot it, throw it in her bug out bag, and she'll love that thing because she'll look at it like a friend, because it's so big. It doesn't kick. It's lightweight, but I'm telling you, it's just, it doesn't kick at all. And you can just put round after round after round into like a quarter size hole. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of the idea of a 22 in your bug out bag. This is just one of the situations that I have found that I really like. I used to have a revolver in here. It was a 22 revolver, and the idea behind that was you don't have to have magazines because it's a self-contained package. You can just put the ammo in there and you're good to go. And to be honest with you, that might be a good option. I had it for years. But this thing came out. It was so lightweight. It kind of broke the mold of having 10-round magazines for 22s, which is something that I don't know why, but for some reason, for generations and generations, they've made semi-automatic pistols in 22 in only 10 rounds. So you have this big gun that only have a 10-round single stack mag, and it's like, why? This one came out, it has a double stack mag in 22. I don't think it has any reliability issues. I've never had any reliability issues with this, and I've shot several hundred rounds, maybe a couple thousand through it, but yeah, 16 rounds on your hip or on your side. It doesn't weigh anything, and you have the capability of a lot of firepower, which you might need in a bug out situation. So, and if you do have 3 magazines on you, which really doesn't weigh that much, if you have a couple mags and then the mag in the pistol, it's not that much weight, and you have a lot of capability. So I'll stop rambling and smoke my pipe and drink my coffee, but it's a P17. Look into it. Go to the range, go to the gun shop, look it up, have them pull it out of the cabinet. This is a green one. I think they come in like a coyote, maybe like a brown color, but Kel-Tec, man. Kel-Tec is just a fantastic company. People have been copying them for a long time. The Ruger LCP, for example, gun that I always, no matter what, have in my pocket, is actually just a copy of a Kel-Tec. So if you didn't know that, do some research on that. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are. Thanks for watching, y'all. And if you want, and if I get enough requests, because I'm not going to do it if people don't care, but if I get enough requests, I'll walk you through my bug out bag, sort of the system behind it. That, medicines and fire and knife and multi-tool and water and shelter and all that stuff. It's important, but just keep in mind that the weight adds up quick, and it's no good to you if you're just going to get rid of it. And I'm telling you right now, if it's cold or hot and you're hiking and you're humping it, and if you're in a bug out situation where you can't even be in your car or your house, you're on foot, weight adds up so fast. You just hate it. You hate it more than life itself, literally. So don't put a bunch of steel cookware in there and a bunch of heavy food and a ton of water stored. Like, be smart about your weight. But we can walk through it sometime if you want. But anyway, P17, and let me know what y'all think. Thanks for watching. Until next time, we'll smoke this pipe right here. Actually, my wife just brought me some smoked oysters on some Ritz crackers. A little bit of hot sauce, you know what I'm saying? Some Louisiana hot sauce. It don't get much better than that. What are you smoking in that pipe today, Doug? Oh, how about some Prince Albert? Man, it's one of my favorite tobacco. Now, we said gun and tobacco in the same video, which means YouTube is going to tank this video. We'll see y'all again next time.